Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
Welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for your pro wrestling hot takes. So let's go ahead and start this off. I really like this one right here from Ryan Largent because, of course, there is a picture that was up on the Twitter from Saturday night's main event that featured CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Ricky Saints, and Jade Cargill, all as champions now in WWE. Ryan here says the PC is a waste of time. The quickest way to the WWE main event scene is working AEW. Looking at WWE championship holders, why would anyone go to the PC? Larson, I agree with this 1,000%. There is a clip that went viral over the weekend coming out of Evolve had some sort of event, like a proper show, not their weekly show, but like kind of a takeover type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know who the wrestlers are, but they were getting clowned left and right because they tried to do that spot where they did like a Spanish fly tape. They were like a moonsault thing together. Like, I think Laredo Kid and somebody did that, and like Dante Martin or somebody did that in AEW a while ago, and it was like fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I might be getting the wrestlers wrong there, but AEW did it, and it was like, oh, this is great because they stick the landing. Well, these guys tried it, and it was like, oh God, that was ugly as hell. Like, they did not stick the landing. And no shade to those wrestlers. They're developing. They're in developmental. They're still learning their craft. They're honing their craft. But they also edited the shit out of this thing, and you could tell there's a couple moves that they were doing, and it was like, that was a weird cut. It was not like they had it all on the timeline, and they were just cutting different angles. They were like chopping out some stuff.
Oh, they were taking whole sections out, huh?
Right. If you are able to go to AEW first and succeed wildly there, which, again, only the most elite can do. This is not for everybody.
No.
Because not everybody's going to get to the top. You know, it is the wrestlers that make it to main roster WWE television. There's a reason they're there and a lot of other people are not. But a guy like Kyle Fletcher, for example, big guy, WWE sized, if you will, young, fantastic wrestler, very quickly developing as a character that people are going to be tuning into. You know, he's got that thing. He's found the unique thing that really he can grab onto as a bad guy. If this guy wanted to go to WWE after whatever his contract is, you know, would expire with AEW, I have no doubt that he would be successful there. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Everybody learns in a different way. But what AEW has to offer, number one, is being WWE's competition. You got to think makes you a little bit more, especially if you're successful in AEW, WWE wanting to take away a little chunk of success away from AEW. Yes, that gives you leverage. That gives you, you're a desirable asset for WWE. And so, yeah, if given the option, where would you rather go, AEW or Evolve? Give me AEW. That's betting on yourself.
Yeah. You know, and I guess another aspect of people leaving AEW to go to WWE or NXT is, and granted, this is speculation. I don't know how much of the thought process dictates or informs what WWE does creatively with former AEW wrestlers, but you want to make sure the grass does look greener on the other side.
Yeah.
For prospective free agents to sign with you and to leave AEW, especially people who had already achieved some measure of success in AEW. So if you have someone like Ricky Saints, even though creatively he's not doing anything terribly interesting, but within a year of him coming to NXT, he's champion. All right, they're investing in him. And that looks promising for people who might consider doing the same thing.
Yeah.
In a broader sense, this is always kind of the bargain that burgeoning or would be professional wrestlers have to make. Do I go to a school? Do I wrestle in the independents for a while, develop a brand, hone my craft, come up with a character, and work across the nation and across the world to build up that brand? So I get to the point where WWE and or AEW is going to pay attention to me and might be interested in signing me. That's one route. That's a route a lot of wrestlers have taken through the years. Or you're a collegiate athlete, someone with some interest in pro wrestling, even if you aren't a collegiate athlete. Although I don't know that I was going to say, I don't know if you have like not a whole lot of pro at this point. Say you have a smidgen, a scintilla of pro wrestling experience prior to going on these WWE tryouts. And maybe naturally you're athletic, but you haven't gone to college. You haven't played college sports in any capacity. Like, I wonder what percentage of people who fall in that category get signed versus former collegiate athletes at this juncture. Because that seems to be WWE's focus when bringing in people to the PC. Mm-hmm. Is taking people who have a great amount of athletic ability and they see some measure of charisma in them or character possibilities, sign them to hone those two aspects to craft a professional wrestler. As opposed to someone who might be like, I love pro wrestling. I've watched pro wrestling all my life. I understand the storytelling aspect of pro wrestling. I might not be the athlete that people who played college sports might be. I might not be trained in that respect, but I know how to tell a story in the ring and I know how to talk, Like, I wonder what percentage of each of those may get signed by WWE.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would think in that case it'd probably be like a case-by-case basis. If you say, so? Oh, he's not as athletic as this guy who, did pretty well on an NFL combine, but just whatever. But yeah, I don't know. You would think they'd probably take a look at all that stuff and then make decisions from there.
You would think so.
Yeah.
But, anyways, that's the deal you have to make as a pro wrestler. Do I try to get into WWE's developmental program, roll the dice there, or roll the dice doing it myself?
Yeah.
And if you look historically, I mean, there's debatable which is the right way to go.
Yeah, no, it's for everybody. There's a path, and for 90% of the people, 95% of the 99% of the people, the path is not going to lead you to great success because they're, like we've talked about often. Look at WWE's main event scene for the men. A lot of dudes who have been around for a long time, it's hard to crack that scene. But if you're somebody who loves professional wrestling, has a creative mind, and again, not everybody has that. A lot of people just hey, I know how to pro wrestling, but I don't know shit about character or writing or anything like that.
Kind of stuff, yeah.
But I would think that all things being equal, if you have two talents, one that's in Evolve under your system, and one who is comparable across the board in athleticism, experience, et cetera, and they're making waves in AEW, well, you already have this guy in Evolve. Why bring him anywhere when you can entice this guy over here to be removed from your competition, and maybe you have to give him a little bit more. You have to actually bring him up to NXT. I could see why that case would be made. I want to bring this up as well because this sort of is a hot take that I feel is sort of spiritually related to this first one. It's from Lance Gilmore. It says 90% of current talent don't sound like real people on the mic. Reason number 47, why the business isn't all it could be. One of my gripes, I know there's going to be like two people in the comments who are like, they always dump on NXT. But good Christ, the promo coming out of NXT, coming out of the PC, it's so stale and like I see these commercials on Pluto TV, dude, for because Pluto TV offers up ad space for super cheap. And there's like an app called Drama Box on the phone that you can get.
Yeah.
And they're vertical video soap operas, basically, silly stories that have the most dog shit acting you'll ever see. And I think they kind of intentionally do it in that manner.
Yeah.
And my kid, Summer, loves it. Like I get when I had the family sharing on, I was like, Summer, why did I just pay $5 for Drama Box? What is this? And then I put it together and I saw an ad for it on Pluto. I was like, this is horrible. It's NXT style acting where it's so hokey. It's so cheesy. It makes the CW look like a goddamn, the scene at a Juilliard. It's so bad. And so much of WWE's developmental coming up is learning that style. And I can't stand it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that is a barrier. You look at somebody like Kevin Owens or even out of the crop of NXT kids, Javon Evans. Their promos are simply genuine.
Yes.
They just come off like they are those people talking those words. But then you look at so much of the others and it's like, God, this like trying to get Charlie Dempsey to say this dialogue in a certain cheesy comedic way is just, it hurts my soul to watch that shit.
Yeah. There's got to be a sweet spot between scripting dialogue down to the letter for promos and allowing talent the flexibility to imbue the scripts with more of who they are, who their character is. And whether that's bullet points, whether that's a script, but then, all right, talent, do a rewrite, bring it back to me. Let's work on this together. Granted, the high-speed nature of production for WWE, especially main roster, where they got 2 shows at minimum a week, might preclude that across the board. And I understand that from a logistical standpoint. But if you want your talents to come across as real people, then you got to find a way to work in more of the wrestlers' personalities in what they say. Because if you don't, it just comes off, all right, they're reading lines.
Yeah.
They're reading lines. They don't have time to prepare to actually give maybe a good performance because they can probably get that script 20 minutes before they got to shoot it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could say wrestlers need to go to line reading classes, cold reads, do that kind of stuff.
I'm almost positive when Roman took that time off in 2020, he went to acting class.
I would not be surprised.
He came back a lot better.
But also he had he had a clear idea of who he was as a character.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I guarantee you, he'd be like, who am I? Vince would give him something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, you're this person. You're this person. And I think that's a lot of it too, is in NXT, I don't know what the creative process is like in terms of developing character, whether it's talent coming up with it, creative coming up with it, some combination of both. But you can tell when people are trying to find their character. That's the hardest thing. If you don't know who your character is, your character doesn't have a voice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You got to find that. We saw that with Rhea Ripley when she got called to the main roster. For years, it seemed like she had no idea who her character was. Mm-hmm. She found it, and great success came after that, instead of just kind of like spinning the wheels. And that's the key and I don't know at NXT especially, what they do to workshop characters so the talents themselves understand, know, and feel comfortable portraying those characters.
The worst is when they lose it, like Damian Priest.
Yeah.
You could tell, and maybe it was just by virtue of the fact that they understood what his story was, and he understood what his story was within Judgment Day. But since he left Judgment Day, he's been kind of lost as a character. He's just Guy.
Yeah, he's tough guy.
He's tough guy,
He needs to be a party vampire again.
I agree with that. Yeah. I found my passion again. Fucking.
There's some things you can use to kind of put a Band-Aid on maybe the lack of knowledge about one's character. If you got people to play off of.
Well, yeah.
And you have good chemistry, like in the case of Damian Priest. Yeah. He and Rhea and Finn and Dom all had fantastic chemistry.
Yeah.
And they knew how to play off each other, probably because they were riding together from town to town. And so they would probably work on stuff together.
Yeah.
So that covers up a lot of that, or at least at the moment. All right, I know what my role is within this ensemble.
Also, even if you know who your character is, if you're not given anything to work with, it's really hard to really come across as interesting. And Damian hasn't been given shit to work with in a long time.
CM Punk is potentially be one of the more interesting characters in pro wrestling television, but he's not given anything good to work with.
Somebody on Twitter posted up a clip of his, I think it was in advance of his return match against Mox. And he was in there with, what was his buddy's name?
Ace Steel?
Ace Steel. And he was cutting this promo, and Punk just looked tired. He looked beat up, but he had so much venom in his voice. And it was that promo where he talks about when he came out of the womb, I had the cord wrapped around my neck and it was choking me because they've been trying to kill me since the day I was born. Yeah. And the caption was, "Where is this Punk?" And it's like, yeah, where is that Punk?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but would it be disingenuous? And this is a conversation maybe for another day. Would it be disingenuous for that Punk in WWE, given we all kind of know that he went there, he got a lot of money, people love him. What does he have to be angry about, you know?
Well, I mean, there's Phil Brooks. What does he have to be angry about? Which seemingly, I know he gave an interview recently saying like his return in these last 2 years at WWE has been a dream. It's been great across the board.
Yeah.
So yes, from the vantage point of Phil Brooks, what does he have to be angry about in terms of, his professional life? Seemingly nothing. But as the character of CM Punk, that's what writing does. You put him in situations that create drama and tension.
You got to give him something. You got to give him something.
Even in situations where it seems like there should be drama and tension, it doesn't seem like stuff's been dialed up to 10.
Well, you know what he had to be angry about in 2024? Being injured all that time and having Drew McIntyre troll him the entire time. And that got us feud of the year.
Yeah.
For WWE.
Where's that? Even the stuff with Seth seems pretty tepid in comparison.
Yeah. Anyways, before we get on to these other hot takes, we do have a sponsor for the show this week, so let's go ahead and talk about them.
This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp, Steve. If I'm being honest with myself, I gotta say, I'm not the best when it comes to keeping in touch with people. I don't know why I have such a tough time with it, but I do know that when I do reconnect, I generally ask myself, why didn't I do this sooner?
Ah, man, I get it. Sometimes you just have to reach out to them. But I get it. Sometimes it can feel like a bit of a challenge to get in touch with someone you haven't spoken to in a while. And reaching out for therapy can feel difficult too. But it's worth it.
It is. I can confirm. It was tough for me to come to the conclusion that I needed to go to therapy when I was dealing with severe anxiety about 20 years ago. But once I did, I was able to find a therapist who helped me learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety and got me on the path to becoming a better Larson.
And with over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is one of the world's largest online therapy platforms, and they're making therapy far more convenient. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you, so you can focus on your therapy goals. All you have to do to get started is fill out a short questionnaire to identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp's 12-plus years of experience in industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. But if you're not happy with your initial match, you can switch therapists at any time from their tailored recommendations.
This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/raw. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
All right, let's go ahead and move on now to the next one. It's apropos because this week on Monday Night Raw, Logan Paul seemingly joined adjacently, tangentially, the Vision. And Carson Gillis here says, Logan Paul leading the Vision is best for business. On top of that, Shotgun Sean says, Logan Paul joining the Vision makes more sense than Brock Lesnar because the group is about younger talent / future main eventers. Is this a good use for Logan Paul? He does get big reactions. I'm still kind of feeling like those reactions are more like, go away.
Yeah, get out of this arena and or get off my TV, yes.
But he, WWE creative seems to think, well, he gets reactions, so a reaction is a reaction.
Well,
it's not like the place goes silent when he shows up.
So Logan leading the Vision, I don't think is best for business because I don't think Logan Paul long-term is in WWE's business plans, whereas Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are.
Yeah.
So if the goal from day one of this Vision thing is to elevate Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they should be the focus. They should be front and center. They should be the ones leading this. And the thing with Logan, he's joining them short term for War Games. That's it. That's it. He's not assuming any sort of leadership role, because I don't think Braun would be cool with that. I don't think Bronson would be cool with that. Now, does Logan joining makes more sense than Brock? I guess in terms of the vision, their mission statement, elevating younger talent, maybe. And I'm guessing before Seth got hurt, the idea was going to be Seth goes to Brock, hey, I did you a favor. Heyman announced you at WrestlePalooza. Now you got to do me a favor. Or Heyman would do that, have Seth proxy and do that. And now they could still maybe work that out in some way, where Heyman said, I did you the favor of doing your introduction at WrestlePalooza. Now do me this favor.
Do me this.
I just see Logan joining up with the Vision for War Games in a situation where Seth is hurt. They don't know how to work Austin Theory into this now. They need a name that will get a response for this match. That's high profile, a huge stadium show. That's why Logan's joining for this.
I don't know if the Vision now... I think the Vision could definitely use an updated mission statement, because I think the idea of them being, hey, you know what? Honestly, if their mission statement kind of echoes the concern that we've talked about, you got a lot of the same faces in the same spots, and none of them are getting younger. And if their mission statement is like the Nexus, hey, we're the future, but we're kind of impatient. We want to be the now.
We're the now, yeah.
I think that Logan Paul joining isn't a bad storyline idea. Leading is a terrible idea, because what does he have to stand on that would bring him to a leadership role here in the Vision? You're right. Braun Breaker, that would be a terrible writing decision, creative
decision.
Decision.
The thing about Logan is basically since day one coming into WWE, he's been pushed to the fore. It's not like he's had to fight for opportunities.
Yeah, sure.
He's being given opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And if Braun and Bronson's idea is we're the future, but the future must be now, Logan seems more someone in their way to achieving that goal than someone they should align with to achieve it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad point. I think it could be written either way. I think that's one direction that could make sense. I think it could also make sense for Logan to say, you know what? I'm young, you're young. Let's do this together. I could understand that. What I don't think could be properly written is Logan coming in and leading anybody.
That wouldn't make any sense.
I don't know if there's a logical path for that. In terms of him joining being good for WWE business, I have no idea what metrics they have to determine, Logan Paul still makes sense for us from a monetary standpoint. Evidently, they have something there, and that maybe they see, the heat that he gets as something that's of
maybe
value.
Triple H just really likes him. I don't know.
That could be as well. I mean, there, I could see reasons for that being the case. But in terms of him making more sense than Brock Lesnar, in terms of like being closer, being aligned in a closer manner than Brock, if Brock is a hired hand, a favor for Paul Heyman, I would understand that. If he's like, hey, Brock, come join the Vision, and you could be a future WrestleMania main eventer. That would be weird. I don't know if you could write that weird. One.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'll let you read this next name.
Sure, the Farting Monkeys has a hot take, says Punk should be a transitional champion.
Ooh.
I have no interest in seeing a 5-month-long PG Punk title reign. He should drop the belt to Braun soon so that he can be on the chase for Mania season, entering the Rumble, winning the Chamber in Chicago, and challenging Cody in Vegas.
Have we ever decided what's the max length to consider a transitional champion?
I don't know. I guess to a certain degree, it's not so much length as in, are they being viewed by the company and booked by the company as champion or someone just holding the title?
I always felt that JBL had like a year-long transitional championship.
Yeah, because it just felt like, all right, it's just a matter of time before he loses it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and not like they're building up someone to take it off him so much as it seems weird he has his title this long. He should lose it in any second.
Right, yeah.
And if Punk has a title for 2 months and it leads to him doing something interesting, yes, please. Because right now what he's doing is just not terribly interesting. Mm-hmm. And it feels like he should and could be doing so much more. I'm not even necessarily saying a heel turn.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Where's the fire?
Yeah.
Where's the urgency?
Yeah. I
just don't really feel like there's really much urgency in anything he's been doing of late.
Yeah, I think a lot of people agree with that. I agree with that as well. Should it be a transitional champion though? I think somebody just from WWE's perspective, I don't think so, simply because I think he is really good for he is really over. He is super over. He is the guy that this felt inevitable. If anybody came off as transitional, it was kind of Seth transitioning to CM Punk, because we all knew CM Punk was going to beat Seth. That was the entire story. That's not even transitional. That is him being the bad guy, the antagonist, and CM Punk being the good guy to take it off him. So that's not transitional. Transitional is Iron Sheik beating Bob Backlund because Bob Backlund didn't want to lose to Hulk Hogan or whatever that was.
Or Bob Backlund beating Bret Hart so Diesel could beat him.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I don't think there should be a quick turnaround for Punk. Unless, like you say, there is something incredibly interesting there that they write, in which case, yeah, always do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should only put it on Punk to get it on to Braun Breaker, even though that will probably end up being the lineage right there, I would imagine. Also, of course, unless, LA Knight beats CM Punk next week, I'd be fine with that too.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragon Knight here with the hot take says War Games is pointless. It's kind of become what Triple H said he didn't want these kind of stipulation match pay-per-views to be. It's an annual obligation that they have to shoehorn a story into.
I'm going to push back on this, Larson. I know, because I have said the same thing. But I went back and I looked at our star ratings. War Games are usually pretty fun. They're fun matches.
The match usually delivers because it's just 45 minutes of madness.
Well, there's also, I think the thing that kind of elevates it is the character interactions and the dynamics between the characters. And you remember last year we were bitching about, and with, I think legitimately.
Yeah, for good reason.
They speed ran the reunion of the OG bloodline.
Yeah.
But once we got there, goddamn, they did a lot of fun stuff with all those character dynamics. The women's War Games match last year was good. The men's was really good. The year before that, it was flipped. I think the women's did we gave it incredibly high ratings, and the men's was okay, this is fine. It was all over 3.5 stars. So until we get that's the thing about Hell in a Cell. The matches all stunk. So it's you would do 3 Hell in a Cell matches in a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And it's did any of these really need to be Hell in a Cell? That's why Hell in a Cell sucked. War Games, I get it. I understand, yes, they should probably do a better job organically building to War Games. That being said, the matches are usually good. They're usually fun. And, they build up these groups with a couple weeks in advance. And they end up paying off pretty well. The matches are good, so what am I complaining about?
That's a credit to the talent wrestling the matches, not so much the creative minds putting these matches together.
Regardless, the result is the same.
Imagine last year, though, if they'd actually taken the time and done a really good Bloodline reunion. The emotional richness that was possible there in that War Games match could have elevated it quite a bit.
Yeah. The match was still good, though.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm not saying it wasn't. We had all those great bits with Roman Reigns and CM Punk and all them in the shark cage and stuff. And
yeah,
they're about to get out, and it's no, he's not going to go. Who's the real alpha here? It's all really good stuff. Could it have been cinema? Sure.
Yeah.
But we still had something really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good, but could have been better. Hot take here from Die Hard Homer. So saying Cody has become very stale. All he is champion, as he has no character. He doesn't have to turn heel, but he needs dimension.
He just dropped a guy on his head on the title, and then totally cheated. that's all I need from my Cody. I think that was
that's
awesome.
up for debate whether he totally cheated, whether it was just an opportunistic thing, or the situation where, all right, that's just what happened, whether it was intentional or not.
Well, it was a super dirty win. I know, but the ambiguity there, the questions that linger, what is his deal? Did he just do that on purpose? I don't know. I'm not going to say he's very stale. Is he stale adjacent? Maybe he's approaching that. Crowd doesn't seem to think so.
No, they don't. His promos have gotten a bit stale. I will say that. There's a formula to how he goes about approaching these things. I'm kind of like, all right, fine. Yeah, there may be some ambiguity in terms of how he wrestles some of his matches, perhaps. But I don't know. I'd say somewhere between stale and stale adjacent is where he is at this juncture.
Yeah.
Like, do I get excited when Cody talks? No. Do I look forward to it? Not really.
Who do you get excited about when they
In
talk?
WWE right now?
When they talk.
That's a pretty short list at this juncture.
Across brands. Across companies.
I look forward to Hangman, because I think he's a good promo, although he hasn't really had much to work with lately. But when he's given something to work with, he's great.
That's the thing, though. That's anybody. You got to have something good to work with.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree.
Can anybody come out cold?
You can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Can anybody come out cold with no good writing and wow you?
I feel like someone like Samoa Joe could.
Even Samoa Joe kind of stank it up with that Hangman one.
Yeah.
You just need good stuff.
Yeah, you do need good stuff.
I think
that's the larger issue of WB is they're not coming up with the good stuff.
When Cody and Cena were doing their thing in advance of WrestleMania, I thought it was pretty good. I thought they were dropping some bombs on each other. So, yeah, I mean, that just sort of speaks to the state of WWE and AEW. There's not a lot of good writing right now for these characters to work with anything.
No.
Proxy V says, hot take. Dominic Mysterio is doing shithead babyface far better than anyone ever has. And I would argue when they finally have him hug his dad, the pop will be bigger than if Cody went heel. 1,000%. Dom might be the promo who can work with nothing. Because that guy is having so much fucking fun right now. And granted, he is actually given some stuff to work with. He's actually given a lot to work with. And I feel like he kills it. But Dom is so goddamn funny and genuine feeling. And he understands his character so well. And he's in this great sweet spot of shithead that is so endearing. Dom's like the one guy that I kind of like get up for when he like shows up on my TV. I'm like, oh, this guy's hilarious. This guy and Tony Storm.
Yeah,
they're the
Tony's
ones
great.
I will get up, like they can kind of do anything. And I'm interested.
See, I'll agree with Tony because I know she can go out there and drop an 8-minute promo and keep me interested.
8's a lot. Eight is a lot, bro.
It is.
I don't know if anybody. Tony can't. 8's a lot. Give me 5. 5.
5. Has Dom ever dropped a 5-minute promo by himself?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think he has.
It's rare that anybody needs to.
I know. Yeah, I agree with that. Nobody should really have to stand out there for 5 minutes and talk.
Yeah.
Much less the 25 minutes we got to open Raw this week.
Jesus.
Apparently that was 10 minutes over, according to Alvarez.
Yeah, there was like at least 5 minutes of them just standing around and nobody talking, waiting for Logan to deliver his line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd listen to Dom for 8 minutes, man.
I gotta see it before I can agree with you.
That dude's hilarious. What about
8 minutes is a long time.
Did you see, bro? See, this is why sometimes I gotta send you this shit. El Grande Americano did an interview all in Spanish with I don't even know where I think probably a AAA event, but it was like a rapid fire question thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, his Spanish is so much better than even I had thought it was.
Yeah.
He's so good. I'll send you this thing. It is hilarious.
I gotta check that out.
I could listen to him in Spanish for 8 minutes. Chess Man, where's my 8-minute Chess Man promo?
There we go. Hot take here from TJ Too Nasty for you.
TJ
83.
Too Nasty for you.
Says Sammy should never be world champion. The Sami Zayn character as it exists now, Steve. Would you want him to be world champion?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of like stories actually paying off. And I feel like his does. And I don't want to see it happen only because he's a heel. He realized, I can't win the big one, so I'm going to be bad now.
Yeah.
No, I think with the proper story, Sami Zayn can blow the roof off a place with a world title win. I think, bro, I honestly think if he were to win, and I don't think it's going to happen, but if he won the Rumble in Saudi, it would blow the roof off the place. And if he beat Cody with the right babyface versus babyface story, it would blow the roof off the place.
Yeah.
I believe that. I think that's true. And I think something like that should happen. I think if anybody can make the case for beating Cody as a babyface, it's like him, and I think Drew should.
Yeah.
But Sammy, I think that'd be a killer. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, like in terms of especially kind of underdog baby faces.
Which is wild given that he's got the Sammy Hogan tag.
I know.
You know?
I know. Like, Sammy's kind of tops in that regard.
He is.
On main roster, at least, currently.
Yeah.
So if the story makes sense and it reaches a crescendo that feels real and earned, yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah. I kind of understand, just this straight up, number one, well-formatted hot take. Very well-formatted hot take for TJ here. But I understand the idea of like, it's the Tommy Dreamer thing. He didn't win it until like literally he had to, like they did the thing at the end. But I understand why somebody would say this. I just think that I don't necessarily agree. I think if you have an opportunity to blow the roof off, you'd blow the roof off.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. For sure.
Up Slingshot here has a hot take. Says, if Saturday night's main event was a big enough stage for both Jade and Punk to finally win their titles, it's a big enough stage for Braun Breaker to win instead. Well, here's the catch. It wasn't a big enough stage for Punk and Jade because it felt kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
So it definitely, and on top of that, Punk won the title before.
Yeah, he won at SummerSlam.
He won at SummerSlam.
Yeah, they try. It's a situation where they tried to make the stage seem larger than what it was, based on what happened, as opposed to, hey, let's hold these title wins off till Survivor Series. An actual large stage.
Yeah,
that could amplify the title win, as opposed to trying to amplify the stage based on a couple of title wins. Yeah. I mean, the blooms really come off the rose with the whole idea of Saturday night's main event.
Oh, boy.
Based on how they put the show together, it's not on network TV anymore. This is speculation on my part. Unless they do awesome numbers on Peacock, I'm guessing once this contract's up, it won't be renewed.
I wonder what the next one's going to look like. Meltzer was talking about how what event was going down on the first. There was World Series. The World Series, I think, got huge numbers.
Yeah,
and there might have been something else.
It was Game 7. Yeah, it was Game 7 of the World Series.
It was like 35 million, 26 million, 29 million, something like that.
Yeah,
and so they're thinking that it's gonna get killed. That and Collision are just gonna get killed.
Yeah, probably.
But unopposed is some big event. If they load the card up again like this, I mean, we never know what the numbers are. We just sort of hear sometimes, they're happy, they're not happy.
Yeah. Well, we know the numbers on NBC weren't good, because if they were good, they'd still be there. Yeah, you're right. And if the numbers aren't good on Peacock, I'm talking strictly about the Peacock Saturday night's main event deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
If the numbers are not good, and I don't know how much time's left on the deal.
Yeah, is this a new deal, or do they just...
I don't know if they kind of... I think they said it was like a multi-year thing when they shifted to Peacock. Of course, they always, when everything gets, something like this happens, where it's like, oh, it was on network TV, now it's just on our streaming service, but oh, it's a great deal. New multi-year thing. What a great celebratory thing. We're all really excited about it. No, Saturday Night Main Event got demoted.
It did.
It got relegated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah. Can't spin that
You
shit.
could try to spin it however you want. It got demoted. Possibly Maddie here says a little over 6 months on, WrestleMania 41 has to be on the list of least consequential WrestleManias of all time, either because of injury, burnout, or lack of capitalization. It feels like nothing has really changed in the status quo from this time last year.
I'm gonna counter this, but also maybe double down on it, depending on what Maddie is really talking about here. I think 41 is consequential. And this weekend, we're going to have, or sometime soon, we're going to have a count out talking about elements that led to the modern boom period of WWE being dead.
Yeah.
And I feel like the main event of WrestleMania 41
it's a pivot point in that, yes.
was very consequential in that when Rock didn't show up and instead it was Travis Scott, I think that might end up, and I'm not gonna say it's gonna kill the company at all. Multiple billion-dollar deals.
Yeah.
But might historically be seen in the same light as the finger poke.
Or Austin's heel turn.
Maybe Austin's heel turn. That's actually probably a better one. Because I feel like they have not recovered creatively from that.
No.
So I do think it's going to be consequential, but in like a negative way.
Yeah. Ragnarok here says it's November, but I can't see anything exciting happening for Mania. Missing Rollins, weak main event scene of 40-year-olds, Brock Lesnar, Cena retired, W making Vegas money, so why would they care?
They'll care when they see if attendance continues to lower, if ratings continue to go down, they will care. Because eventually, like that will start to affect the business aspect of things.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're able to bring some heat for WrestleMania, we'll find out by the end of this month, because if War Games is hot, then they'll have some pretty decent momentum heading into the new year where we're at the WrestleMania season. But, if they can bring something interesting to the names that they have placed at the top, guys that have been there forever, if they can bring something interesting, then they'll be in a good position. And if they can't bring anything interesting, if it's par for the course, what we've seen over the past 6 months, it's going to be a tough gig.
Yeah. What is this? Germ breaks? Says cheesy heel Okada is the best character in the business, and it's not close.
Talk about a guy who brings me joy whenever he shows up on my television.
Yes. Okada knows how to do just enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's, he's cruising or anything like that. He just knows about efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
He maximizes every second of TV time he has. Sometimes he does very little.
Yeah.
But it feels consequential.
Yeah.
He really knows how to do that.
He's got that aura. He's got that history. He's got that presence so that he could do the small things that make it seem big.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, because AEW features like a lot of wrestlers. They got the tag division, the trios. Now they got the women's tag. You got a lot going on. And Okada is not the focal point of their television. And that's a good thing, because scarcity of Okada makes us want Okada more.
Yeah.
He's great. He's the Rainmaker. He's great.
He is. He's one of the best. One of the absolute best. Broken Novocaine here says, I hate the idea that gimmicks don't work in modern wrestling. Not every gimmick needs to be goofy like the Hurricane, but too many wrestlers just want to be cool guy that wrestles. More than a gimmick, I feel like a viewer needs a hook as it relates to, not the wrestler hook. Every wrestler needs to have some sort of hook to capture the viewer's attention. Whether that's a gimmick, a persona, something.
Would you consider, like, for example, Obafemi's character,
Mm-hmm.
the ruler, whatever he calls himself?
Yeah.
I consider that a gimmick.
Yeah, 1,000%.
That's definitely a gimmick. I think it's a good one that fits the performer very well. Cody's American Nightmare, that's a gimmick. Fits him perfectly. It's a great visual / character representation of who this is. It's like you say, a hook. Rhea Ripley, same thing could be said for her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, oftentimes I think to the point of Broken Novocaine here, when people say gimmick, they think of Repo Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Over the top, vocational stuff.
Right.
Cheesy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think gimmicks are still a really, really useful tool for pro wrestling. You know,
Yeah.
you got a Damian Priest out there who's a cool guy who wrestles.
Yeah. He needs something.
He needs something.
Party vampire.
Aleister Black has sort of developed into a gimmick of Killer Cross.
Yeah. 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 So, maybe it's just the word
Cross
gimmick.
was a great gimmick, you know?
Yeah. Maybe it's just the word gimmick that leads people to think, oh, when I hear the word gimmick, I think early 90s WWE.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the first thing that pops in my mind.
Hey, look, it's an evil clown guy.
Well, there was a hockey player and a repossessor. Everybody had a very specific thing, and it was done almost to a cartoonish level across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And if, you can have a gimmick, but still have it be very grounded.
Yeah.
Because it's just something, you see this character's presentation. I have an idea who this character is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some sort of hook in that respect. It's like, oh, I know who this is, and I like what I see.
Certain performers definitely don't need gimmicks, though. And I know, like, Kevin Owens, for example. I get it. When he came in, he was a prize fighter. But I think that was, like, an unnecessary label for a guy who was just compelling.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I get your motivation. You're here to feed your family. That's great.
Yeah.
But, like, you could say that about anybody. Kevin Owens was just unique. He was just, oh, my God. The amount of personality that comes through this character.
He naturally has that hook that captivates the viewer. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you have that, great, run with it.
Yeah. If Toni Storm is a great example of somebody who, man, I really want to like her, but every time she talks, I fucking have no idea who she is. And then she finds a timeless thing. Oh, fuck. I mean, that's the most gimmick I think there is in pro wrestling right now.
Yeah.
And it's so unique, and it works wonders. And somehow she's been able to take this Turner Classic Movies deal into a compelling character.
Yeah.
And
with
absolutely,
dimension.
With
that's the other thing
dimension,
about gimmick characters, is they tend to seem one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Their gimmick defines their character.
Mm-hmm.
And no, we want characters with some depth and some dimension.
I mean, credit to The Undertaker for not just like literally being like, I work at a mortuary.
Or, oh, you're the dead man. I'm a zombie.
Yeah, right.
Imagine him for 20 years coming to the ring going, ugh.
I mean, he honestly kind of is what he did. So
Yeah.
like 30 years.
Yeah. Hot take here from Scrufflenuff.
Okay.
Says the Daniel Bryan monster video package from WrestleMania 30 is better than My Way. I agree with this. This one and the one for
Shawn Michaels Undertaker.
Yes, with the placebos running up that hill, I think are both better than the My Way one. Because the My Way one has like the same 5 shots over and over again.
Dude, that's what drives me crazy about it.
It's getting by on the power of the song and the heat that match had, as opposed to, oh wow, this is a really good story. And look, they managed to capture the story in an energetic way that makes me more interested in watching this match. And they scored it great.
You know what I think of? You know what I think that match is about when I see the package? They don't know how to properly cheers each other. Why are these guys obsessed with, like, there's like 18 shots of them, doing the beer thing.
Yeah.
This is why these guys are fighting?
Yeah.
No, there's so much history there, but they relied on the same fucking shots over and over again.
Yeah.
If they had actually, like, used the history between these two guys and maybe, like, had the foresight to do a couple more segments with them they would have had more to work with.
Absolutely.
The Monster one is excellent. My personal favorite is Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar with David Kushner's Daylight.
Oh, yeah, you like that
I think
one a
it's
lot.
called Daylight.
You like that song a lot.
Double check, make sure I know. I fucking love that song. And what a wild, like, fucking... It's kind of a nothing feud. But
Yeah.
oh my God, it got me in my feels when I was watching that.
Oh, the Undertaker
Daylight,
Shawn
yeah,
Michaels one
Oh, great.
for Shawn
Great.
Michaels' last match, WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's so good because they
It's
go through the
terrific.
whole story and
They do.
Gosh darn, it's so good. That's the best. That one's the absolute best.
So we have no grunge hot takes today?
There was one that said In Utero is better than Nevermind, but we both agree with that. So like, what's
Not very hot.
It's not very hot.
Quite cold.
Darius the Great, though, says Motor City Machine Guns hand bit is the funniest bit in Going in Raw history, full stop. There's another hot take that said the Motor City Machine Guns thing is not getting old.
What?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, as a shoot, I guess I'm just grateful that we don't have people saying stop. Too often when we start an in joke, people are like, you guys are running it into the ground. It's not even funny. So I'm grateful that our audience isn't as tired of this shit as I am. It's nowhere close to the funniest thing we've ever done. Not even close. We've had
It may not be
much
the funniest
funnier
thing, but I don't know if
in-jokes.
anything fills me with as much happiness.
And you know what? Honestly, at this point, given that we are very much like a married couple, happy wife, happy life. So if you're happy, you're not miserable.
Do it with me. Motor City
I
Machine
do
Guns.
it with you all the time.
I said Motor City Machine Guns.
I heard you. You said it twice. Well, you got to do it twice now.
You do.
So I'll continue to do it as long as it makes my work husband happy. Because when you're miserable, it's insufferable.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
That's going to do it for Hot Takes today, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.